Hey everybody, what's up? Absolutely Beast here. So today I want to take this opportunity to talk about Project Cars 2. As a disclaimer at the beginning, there is no footage or gameplay of Project Cars 2 in this video whatsoever. It's just me talking about Project Cars 2, giving sort of my thoughts on it. You guys have been awesome. The amount of growth in the last 2 weeks has been incredible, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful that you guys take the time to click on my video and watch it. I know there's not a whole lot out there, so there's kind of limited choices, but I'm super grateful that you guys took the time to watch my stuff and continue to if you're here now. So thank you for that. And the amount of responses in the comment section, it's been awesome. I'm glad to know that there's so many people out there who are just as hyped and passionate about racing type games as I am. I grew up playing racing games. I was not allowed to have violent games, and so pretty much every game, probably 80% of all the games I played from age 9 all the way to 20 probably were racing games. So just all racing games all the time. So I'm just glad to know there's so many of you out there who are just as excited as I am, and I appreciate the really awesome info. There's not a lot of communities within gaming where you can talk about things, and I'm a serious gamer. I like to take things seriously, so that's the fun part for me. So it's nice to talk with some of you guys who are just as serious about it and just as wanting to be just as accurate about the information and all the stuff that's out there. I really appreciate that. It's been great these last couple of weeks, so keep the support coming, guys. Thank you for that. So I want to take this opportunity to talk about Project Cars 2, which I have been getting hyped for. The more I respond to comments, the more I read comments you guys are posting, the more I watch videos that you guys are linking to me, the more I'm getting excited. I did own Project Cars 1. I bought it. I was super hyped for that game. I was hyped for that game for probably 6 months. That's when I was really heavy into the tuning on Forza 5, and we learned that was coming out, and it was just such a cool thing for me, and I was just wanting more out of the game. And that game definitely delivered that. Now, if I had one gripe with the game, I even convinced a friend of mine to get it who really didn't like racing games at all, and he ended up putting twice as much time into the game as I did, which was awesome. I would say the one gripe I had with it was the same gripe other people had on the console. I don't know if it was a thing on PC, but the matchmaking and finding matches and stuff really seemed to be an issue. One of the reasons that I love Forza so much is because it's very consistent. Forza is a lot like Xbox Live in a lot of ways. Xbox Live is so consistent. It's available 24 hours a day, every day. It goes down maybe once or twice a year, maybe. It's extremely consistent. You can always hop on and play. I've been having some issues with party and stuff like that recently, but for those of you guys that don't know, I am a console gamer. Forza 6, is not available on the other stuff, so I figure most of you assume that by now, but ultimately I'd love to get a PC. I've just, kind of discovered PCs within about the last year, 9 months maybe, and I've gotten really heavy into the research on them and stuff in the last couple months, and I almost built one just recently, but just decided to sort of hold out and see what happens. I'll see where everything ends up, where everything falls this year. So the matchmaking was just not there for Project Cars 1. It was very difficult to find matches, and because they were mostly custom, a lot of them were just things you didn't want to race, at least in my opinion. I'm the type of person that likes to race, one or two classes of car because, I like to get better with the cars. It's hard for me to enjoy switching around between cars all the time because you don't get to really push the cars. Once you have some driving experience and you're decent at driving, you can figure it out, but it's much more fun for me to just race one or two things. And then there was the issue where you'd get in there and you couldn't qualify, or you'd get in there and you'd go into the pits and then it would auto drive for you the rest of the race. There were definitely some glitches, and I know there were plenty more glitches that I didn't even experience, but I was linked a video of Andy Tudor, who's the creative director over at Slightly Mad Studios, and he was talking about Project Cars 2, and he was talking, it was at a PC convention, and to be honest, I literally loved everything he said. He talked about everything, and one of the first things he said was, he put up a bunch of tweets on screen and said, just so you guys know, we heard everything that you said, every issue and thing and problem that you had with the game before. We heard all those things, and we took that into account, and those were the first things we did before we worked on the game. Before we worked at all on the new game, the first thing we did was we fixed all those issues, and then we started, building the new game. And so that's really promising to me. That's a sign in the world we live in today. That's kind of how things go. You can never have enough prep time before you release something and realize there's problems. And something I've said before that a lot of people don't think about. No matter how many testers, QA testers, quality assurance testers they have, no matter how many things they do to a game, within the first 12 or 24 hours that a game is out, the amount of hours of gameplay is probably 100 times or more what they were able to do in all their quality testing. So it's very obvious that there's going to be issues and flaws, and really it's how you deal with them. And I think a lot of companies have realized that, because you could spend double or triple the amount on quality testers and test 2-3 times as much, and honestly it wouldn't really make much of a difference, because they're still going to find issues immediately. So it's really about addressing those issues quickly, and that to me spoke volumes that they said that was the first thing they did, was they addressed all those issues. But not to mention everything else they outlined. He outlined in that video talking about live track 3.0, which basically means every single thing about the track is live. Obviously ambient temperature they take into so that you based on the time of day, based on the season, there's seasons, based on the rubbering in of the driving line, based on practice to qualifying to race, there's going to be more and more rubber laid down, based on the actual temperature of the track, the temperature of your tires, the altitude of the track, therefore the tire pressure. It's just ridiculous how in-depth it goes. And not to mention all the other stuff about it. Like one of the things that got me excited a while back when I heard several months, maybe even around Christmas time, 6 months ago, was hearing the sort of the rumors about, somebody goes off the track, and one of these times I hit one of these cars and they flip a couple of times. So I think it's coming up on the second back straight there. But hearing about the fact that if somebody goes off the track and runs in the gravel or the dirt, they're going to basically bring that back onto the track. And you have to worry about that as you go through there. It's gonna stick to your tires and or cause you to lose a little bit of grip. So that's something cool. Also cool, like I said already, the driving line getting rubbering into the driving line as the race goes on, being able to push it a little bit harder as you go further. And just I think it's this one right here. Maybe not. But it's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited for it. Different weather. Man, I can't even think right now. Different seasons, which is cool. Race at a different time of year. You can race them in snow, and they also have the Mercedes ice driving track, which Mercedes featured in a few of their commercials a while ago. Just saying like, hey, we test our cars in the snow, kind of a thing, which is cool. Everything about it. I watched a video from the channel's called Beats Juice. Video was titled Project Cars 2 Driver Eye. It was Porsche 911 GT3R on Nordschleife, and it looked spectacular. The little details, just the car looked. Obviously I can't tell because I'm not playing it, but it looked like it was performing exactly like a regular car. I've watched so many videos of cars, real cars driving on the Nürburgring. It looked pretty spot on, and they brought in so many drivers, to the point where now it's not even like a driver's kind of getting with them and talking with them about the handling characteristics of a couple cars, but like some of them are just like one driver for one car, which is really cool. They secured a Ferrari license, and I think a Porsche license, and then McLaren, which I think is the cover car, the 720S, which is ridiculous. I've seen a video of that driving also. But it just seems like it's really going well for them, and I'm getting more and more hyped. Even the more I talk about it now, the more hyped I am. I did a previous, attempt at this voiceover here, and even from that one, 20 minutes ago, I'm even that much more hyped right now than I was even 20 minutes ago. Just thinking about the game and thinking about all the stuff that's going to be awesome with it. So I can't wait. this is really, I've said this before, and one of you said it in the comments, but this is really a fantastic year to be a racing fan, for sure. You know, I just, man, I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. The only thing for me is they pretty much launch around the same time. I think Project Cars comes out late September, which is virtually exactly the same time that Forza comes out, so we'll have to see what happens there. But I am super thrilled, and it's just, I mean, the amount of support on Project Cars, as far as, like, you know, wheels and all the different peripherals, and the amount of, like, real depth they go into with the physics and the absolute realism of the game. And in fact, I'm not sure there's another game that exists in any genre that is this realistic and targets realism this hard, and I think it's really something else. I mean, you know, as much as I love graphics, and as much as I sort of, you know, get swayed by the eye candy, like a lot of people do, I really can appreciate the technical details and technical stuff, and to see the level of detail that they've gone into with Project Cars, to see the level of technical detail is nothing short of astonishing. I mean, to sit here and think about it, I think, man, I can't even believe that they've done this in only 2 years. Even if you consider the development time for Project Cars 1 and 2, you know, in 5-6 years time, they've basically come from an unknown. I mean, they worked on Need for Speed, I guess. I don't remember which games. I think it might have been Shift, but to come from that, and in this short amount of time to have a game that is absolutely hyper real, and I think really the pinnacle of realism in all games, across all genres, across all platforms and systems, is incredible. So, thank you guys for bringing that to my attention. Thank you for, you know, sort of giving me a little bit of criticism so I can learn as we go. I appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe and check back soon for more content. I'm trying to put up stuff as much as I can, and thank you guys. Appreciate it.